I saw a guy on a podcast yesterday bragging about his optimized 3 a.m. routine. It involved this literal ice bath, red light therapy, and enough caffeine to power a small village. And I realized we're the most tracked, caffeinated, and optimized generation of men in history. We have the specs, we have the house, we have the title, we have the Aura ring that tells us exactly how poorly we're sleeping because we're stressed about the house and the title. But here's the truth we don't say out loud. Most of us aren't providers. We're just these high-functioning hostages to our own bank accounts. We built this life that looks elite on paper, but feels at times like a sophisticated cage at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, if you've ever sat in your driveway for 20 minutes staring at a garage door because you don't have the energy to go in and be dad or husband or whatever your role or roles you play, I want you to stay with me. We don't feel empty because we're ungrateful. We feel empty because we've treated our lives like a transaction. We think if I provide X amount of utility, well, then I'm entitled to Y amount of peace. We've turned our existence into this subscription service where we're paying the monthly fee of hard work. And we're wondering why the peace feature is still permanently buffering. Last month, I spent hours researching garage shelving because I thought that organization would finally stop this hollow feeling in my chest. But I'm the dumb one in this story. I was essentially trying to fix a seized engine of a car by polishing the hood. Now, if any of you have been in a situation like this, I want you to hit the like button. If you've ever caught yourself doing that, buying a new anything to fix that soul level leak, here's the structural reality. Emptiness isn't a lack of effort, it's misalignment. I want you to think of your life like this high performance engine. You were designed for a specific fuel grade and a specific frequency, but the world tells you to ignore the manual. It tells you that you're the architect, you're the designer, the mechanic, you're the fuel source, all of those things at once. Now that's a category error. When you try to be the source of your own power, you're eventually going to hit what they call structural displacement. Now, those are big words. I certainly don't understand all that. But I do understand that we're filling our purpose slots with productivity stats. The hardware's great, but the system is throwing error codes out because it's redlining on a fuel it was never meant to burn. I had a moment recently where I realized I was this successful ghost. I was carrying all of these things in all these different directions way past my design capacity because I thought if I stopped, the whole structure would collapse. Look, I'm telling you this because I'm tired of seeing good men burn their lives down because they're too proud to admit that they're tired. I've been in that dark room in my head. It's lonely. But the problem isn't that you, me, or anybody else is failing. It's that we're running on a hijacked blueprint. There is a massive structural difference between a man who's trying to justify his existence and a man who realizes that his existence was already validated before he even took his first breath. Think about the logic of design. A building doesn't stay up because the bricks try their best. It stays up because it adheres to the design. What if that hollow feeling that we experience is just a signal that we're out of sync with that design? What if your identity isn't something that you manufacture, but it's something that's been wired in? Something I've learned over the years is that once you realize that you don't have to keep the roof on that building, you don't have to keep it up on your own, you can finally breathe again. So if you're ready to stop the safe mode life and get back to that original design, subscribe. As the next step, I want you to take 10 minutes today, tomorrow, sometime this week, and just sit and think about what you've heard. Whatever stirs up inside you, let it sit for a bit. Don't block it out. I want you to be curious about what it is that got stirred up and why it got stirred up. This is what real courage is. And hey, if a friend came to mind as I've been talking, you want to share this with him, send it to him. You don't have to do a big lengthy text or a big narration or sermon to him. Just send it to him. Maybe it strikes up a conversation. We as men are prone to isolate ourselves for whatever reason. But we don't burn our lives down when we have another guy who's willing to say, hey, I see what's going on in your life. Or, hey, I want you to know what's happening with me. This is where real work gets done.